Welcome to the Tunabudget podcast, your source for insights into financial wellness. Today we're diving into employment, skills, and passion to increase income. At Tunabudget.com, home of the Tunabudget worksheet plan and candid conversation memos, we offer resources that simplify budget life planning. We encourage discussions about real-life challenges affecting our finances. Don't forget to submit your own candid conversation memo at Tunabudget.com. Let's get started. Employment, skills, and passion to increase income. In an economic downturn, the labor market can be difficult when it comes to finding a job or a better job. What may have taken weeks in the past may now take months, and in some cases, years to find another really great job. This candid conversation memo is designed to leverage getting a great job or career with proven tips for success for the job and type of work you really want. If you're fortunate to have some skills with which you can start your own business, that would be awesome too. But if you are more set to work for somebody else, consider these sharp tools. A first impressions statement. You get one chance to create a first impression. If you were doing the hiring, what would you like to see from a potential employee in those first few seconds? A great smile, a positive attitude, a firm handshake, ownership, something like that? Have you considered the first impression you would make to a potential employer? And what about the first things you say that come out of your mouth, right? Ever thought of that one? I've done some research, and I want you to check out on the line the Me in 30 Seconds statement at churchofjesuschrist.org. This was as of March of 2024. I'm sure it's still there. But it works very, very well. I want to take you through this a little bit. I know from personal experience it's simple and powerful, and of course it's free. But I would recommend that you put some serious time, maybe even hours if necessary, into making and memorizing your own statement. Let me share with you how I did mine and how it worked for me, okay? It's a personal experience. Again, I did this, and it landed me the best job I've ever had, and that was at the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. Now, 15 years later, I still have it memorized, or most of it anyway. I spent several hours pondering and crafting my Me in 30 Seconds statement, and every word of it was spot on, totally real, 100% me. Okay? This is a time of deep reflection, and I took it very seriously, and it worked beautifully. Because employers hire the people that are passionate about the work they do. People who are passionate like to show up early. They often take shorter lunches. They contribute more ideas. They're engaged. They're happy to show up and even stay late, right? Wow. Anyway, I delivered it with such confidence you'd be floored to have seen it. And you'll create your own statement that you will also share with great confidence. Why? Because yours will be literally you, just as mine was literally me. And so be 100% truthful, of course, as anyone can tell if a person is making things up, right? Your statement is unique. It's all about you, and people will remember you too because of your passion for the work. Lastly, when I developed my own statement, I was advised to start each sentence with this. You're not gonna believe it. I am, or I have, or I can. I asked if that wasn't a little bit of an arrogant approach, and the response to me was, no, it's not being arrogant because the things you say using the am, can, and have prompts at the start of each sentence are totally true, right? The interviewer wants to know who you are, and those three words tell the person exactly that, who you are. I am, I can, I have. And it's true. I put hours into my statement. I hope you'll do the same. I was told that the employer interview was also my interview and to take control of it. I'm like, what? Like, to be sure you get your first impression, your Me in 30 Seconds statement off at the very beginning of the interview. In fact, my Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco interview started off with an immediate question. Like, I forgot what the question was, and I stopped them before I answered it. Right, because it's my interview, right? And I asked very respectfully if I could please introduce myself to them before answering their questions. They said, of course, literally smiled and sat back in the chair. There's two of them. Sat back in their chairs and listened carefully to my me in 30 seconds statement as I leaned in, sat up, leaned in, and delivered me. I knew I had the job at that moment, and I did. The human resource person a week or so later said that I was the successful candidate out of some 300 applicants. And she said that I was lucky to have had to have the job. And that was at the first of the phone call. And before we hang up, and I said, "Hey, can we talk just for another second? I wanted to ask you a question. You said that I was lucky to have the job, and I'd like to know, what do you mean by that?" She says, "Oh, there were about 97 candidates that were more highly qualified, like they were already commissioned bank examiners." 97, and of the 5 they interviewed, I was the one that got the job, and I wasn't commissioned yet. Okay, I was just a regular banker, and you know why, and now you know why and how. So get busy and make your me in 30-second statement right now as well. Again, I want to stress that it's your job interview and not theirs, okay? Look at it differently. The best way of looking at a job interview is for you to screen out the job as opposed to the other way around. Get yourself in front of people, whether in an online informational interview where you can talk to people in the field. You can do that now to learn more about the jobs or the careers in that area, or an actual interview for possible employment. If they start out saying something like, "Why are you interested in," or "Tell me about yourself," then go ahead and give them your memorized but sincere me in 30 seconds first impression statement. Whether you're on the phone or in person, lean forward, sit up straight, and look at them in the eye if you would. But if they dive right into the interview without giving you a chance to formally introduce yourself, kindly speak up and ask if you could please introduce yourself first, just like I did. They will be very impressed, and you'll stand out from the other candidates, I guarantee it. Remember, it is your interview, not theirs. Let them know that you're looking for employment because you're passionate about the field, etc. Do these tools make sense to you? Now, I need to go back in and give you a word of caution. Please be very, very honest. Be totally honest, okay? Your statements must be genuine and true. It's also a good time for some self-reflection when you're pondering the me in 30 seconds statement, okay? In no way can it be false. If you're anything less than 100% honest in its development and its delivery, I think you're going to lose out, and your introduction will be discerned as being phony, and you won't likely get the job. People can see right through anything that is deceptive or dishonest. We're just built that way. Whatever you say in your statement, just make sure it's the truth, or don't say it, or anything else otherwise to make a false, better impression. And maybe doing this exercise may cause you to really think about whether you really like who you are. Maybe you're truly better than who you think you are too, even if that's only because you want to be a better person. I think you're probably a lot better than what you think you might be. We're too hard on ourselves. Everyone comes to this realization from time to time, and if now's the time, then good for you. Consider yourself lucky then, as most people may really have a hard time. While doing some sincere pondering about your first impression statement, take this time to change or improve some things about yourself, and let this be reflected in your statement. Putting together your first impression statement, it's going to be memorized, right? Is a defining time. It's a personal, self-reflecting interview of sorts. Yes, it will be the real you because, well, it is you. Again, this whole thing is about being completely honest. So if you're an honest person, then say so in your introduction. People hire those they know. Your me in 30 seconds first impression statement will show them who you are. They'll know you. So memorize it, right? Practice it and be confident in how you say it and deliver it. Eye contact the whole time and a smile smile while you're talking. Do you get it? Okay. Very, very powerful tool. We're using passion here in boosting our employment. The next tool to use is called a knowledge, skills, aptitude statement, or a KSA. Knowledge, skills, and aptitudes. Aptitudes, I think, means like this. I can do this. I can't speak Russian, but I can learn to speak Russian or some other language, right? You have the aptitude for it. So knowledge, skills, aptitudes statement. Okay, it looks like a resume in a sense, but it's different. And this is to help you get your next job interview. So just build out your own KSA, and keep it simple yet focused on lots of dates and amounts and facts that they can measure. Okay, I'll give you the basic components of it. Of course, you can go online to see in the podcast transcript what a KSA looks like. Very simple to use, very easy to develop. But basically, it consists of about 4 or 5 areas, okay? The contact information at the top, the name, the title of your document, the month and year. I would put the address, your email, phone number, all that contact there at the top. The introduction section, guess what it's going to be? It's the me in 30 seconds first impression statement, right? And the next section down will be the 3 most recent jobs, up to maybe say the last 10 or 15 years. Okay? The company name, the job title, the service period, and I like to say use 3 bullets, okay, under each one of those jobs. So there's 3 bullets for each of the 3 jobs. And they list the key job functions with several accomplishments. Remember, with lots of dates and numbers and examples. Okay, so 3 bullets with several job functions and accomplishments under each of those. Next section would be the training and education. That would include any schools or and publications, commissions, certifications, specialty trainings, courses, classes, and all of that. Be sure and add dates. And the last section, which I think is also very, very important, would be your other activities. And this would include all the personal things, the interests, the hobbies, the ambitions, any accomplishments that you've done, what have you. This short ad is sponsored by the Debt Crisis Problem Podcast. Attention listeners, please join us at Tunabudget.com to tune into the Debt Crisis Problem Podcast, where in plain English we discuss the 20 risks that could soon fuel a serious economic downturn. You're going to love them. We explore these critical risks and offer practical insights for navigating financial uncertainty. Join us for thought-provoking discussions that encourage transparency and awareness. Subscribe now to stay informed and be ready for whatever comes next. Again, as a reminder, you can go online on the podcast transcript and see a sample KSA, knowledge, skills, and aptitude statement. Make it very simple, make it more complex to suit your individual needs. Before I do that, though, let me back up, and I want to give you a sample of an introduction statement. Okay, I'm going to read one here that I wrote, or this is just made up. Okay, you notice how many times it says the word "I am" or "I have" or "I can," and just see how it sounds. Okay, put yourself in the shoes of a prospective employer when you're hearing this from somebody who's leaning forward, good eye contact, and just a strong, confident delivery, assuming that all of these things are true, right? Look at this. I am honest, confident, professional, and diplomatic. I have 17 years of experience in commercial ABC and recently 4 years experience as a professional consultant at the ABC Risk Management Advisory. I have a clear understanding of ABC internal policies, procedures, processes, and practices. I can readily identify and communicate ABC quality issues and solutions in ABC operations, and assess the adequacy of appropriate ABC risk management practices. I can document and support proper ABC risk ratings and have deep experience in ABC review, ABC policies, special ABC teams, and the commercial ABC valuation function. I have excellent verbal and written communication skills and work effectively with all levels of management and personnel. I can conduct respectful and professional collaborations and dialogue with ABC stakeholders in arriving at balanced conclusions through effective listening. I am detail-oriented, seek to understand others' points of view first, and rely on documented facts. I am seeking a rewarding long-term relationship at the height of my ABC career. You know, there's so much power in these tools, okay? Again, just go online and at the transcript and see a full sample copy of the podcast. It's really quite easy to put together. Now some other great little tools, okay, to help increase the chances of achieving really good employment. Here you go. Ask for the job, right? Ask for the job. This is really the simple part, assuming you really want the job. When you get an interview, be sure to literally ask for the job and go ahead, for example, and ask for it. Say, "May I please have this job?" People don't realize they can ask for the job and they might just get it. Don't forget to ask for the job. Always express genuine appreciation too. Another tool, let's talk about compensation. When the employer makes an offer and talks about compensation, obviously try to get them to put the number on the table first, right? Think in terms of annual salary, though, not wages, depending on the job, or monthly income as opposed to those hourly wages. If you're forced to discuss a number first, ask if they could share with you the pay range that the position offers. Once an offer is presented, automatically assume there's a little bit more wiggle room. Well, what do I mean by that? When you hear a number, quickly do the math and ask for another 10% as a counter, a number that makes more sense for you and your skill set, right? You will likely get a firm response, but should defend the extra 10% with 3 strong reasons why you should get an additional 10% now. If all else fails, ask the interviewer for that interview for the higher compensation level in 6 months if you exceed their expectations. So you'll likely get your first 10% raise either before you start the job or within 6 months. Think about that one. You're smiling, right? You've got this. Now, recognize where changes may be needed with a reduction of income scenario, okay? So we're going back to reality here for a minute. We're realizing that we don't have that good job and somehow there might have to be some changes. In an economic downturn, you may experience an environment of overall decreased compensation due to higher unemployment. With your Tunabudget worksheet plan, you can readily insert the pending lower compensation into your plan. Just put the lower numbers in there and then start to think about and make the necessary pending changes to either the balance sheet and expenses to fit the new income. Don't put the shortfall on a credit card though, okay? Whatever you do. If you can draw down from savings, that's great, but don't put it on a credit card. Make the changes. Reduce spending, okay? And be thankful for what you do have. Maybe you have to work some extra jobs, whatever it takes, okay? But don't put it on a credit card. Be willing to change your lifestyle, whether it's your home, your cars, your toys, essentially whatever it takes to keep your family safe with food on the table. Life isn't always going to work out the way you want it, okay? But make the best of it and be humble and willing to change things up. And the Tunabudget worksheet plan will tell you what those changes will be. And you'll be happy to make the changes as you'll see what needs to be done for you, your spouse, and your family. Now I want to end with some candid questions. Have you ever lost your really good job and been unemployed or underemployed for an extended period, maybe a year or 2, or at least 6 months? Have you ever had to work multiple jobs to stay afloat? While unemployed, how did you handle Christmas, or major car or home repairs or medical expenses? Have you ever been underemployed and been working multiple jobs and wonder how you're going to still make the next rent or mortgage payment? Has your income dropped to where you literally had no money for the moment, to where you really didn't know what you were going to do the next day? Like you had to fund your daughter's field trip or something, or put gas in the car, or make a necessary car repair? Have you been in a situation where you had an excessive or what became an overwhelming debt burden when facing a material drop in income from a layoff, or your credit score was potentially at risk? How nervous are you about your job today and its longer-term prospects? Thank you for joining us. Today we explored employment, skills, and passion to increase income, highlighting the importance of open conversations in financial wellness. We want to hear from you at Tunabudget.com. So get busy and submit your own candid conversation memo and share your insights with everybody else. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe for future podcasts. Until next time, visit Tunabudget.com for your free Tuna Budget Worksheet Plan, the most powerful budget worksheet plan in the world. Yours. Thanks again.